And welcome back to today's stream, where we will kind of stick to our schedule. But before we get to the scheduled Tales of Berseria, I wanted to try out the demo for an upcoming game. The game is called Salvus Aries. It is a otome visual novel that is set to come out on Steam Early Access this weekend. I saw on Twitter that they have some problems with Steam and getting the game actually, I think, like the final approval of Steam or something. But I still wanted to give a little spotlight to one of my favorite genres of game. I did not think I would stream an otome game, but that is simply because I did not want to stream a visual novel type game, like a full-on visual novel type game, without the express permission of the people making the game. Because there is only so much content people will get out of a medium that is, in my opinion, usually more like a choose your own adventure book. So even if I don't show all ends or whatever, a good amount of the content feels like I'm spoiling it without adding too much. But Rosemilk Studios and Kohi on Twitter kind of gave the express permission to stream both the demo and the game through their Twitter channel. So I am feeling comfortable sharing their game at least. Let me see. I'm sorry that I'm not super the most professional streamer yet, so I don't have the thing on the ready. I'm so sorry. I lost my tab. There was a media kit so that I could share the awesome art with you guys. They are an indie studio. And sorry. So the game seems to be a bit on the darker fantasy side, with the starting point and the premise being that you already died, and now you're waking up in purgatory, or not. Like, you will see the how'd you get there, but because I tested just like the first 2 minutes or so of the game to see to just, you know, do a little sound check, see if everything was already voiced and stuff. It's voiced in English. I have not, as of yet, played an Otome game voiced in English. Otome games are a Japanese visual novel genre that is primarily aimed at a female audience, which is not to say that guys can enjoy it. Everyone is absolutely welcome to enjoy Otome games, but yeah, the protagonist will be female. The love interests will be predominantly male. I think there is a few games that have like a singular, like one of the love interests might be female or female presenting. Um, but yeah, that's not the norm. Mostly it is girls dating guys. Um, and I have been collecting Otome games since I think 2022 or 2021. I am currently unsure. Um, so yeah, it's been some years, and I have a good amount of them, of the ones that are released for the Switch. So I predominantly collect on the Switch because I like physical collecting. So out of the 60 something localized physical English releases, I think I own 50-ish. So yeah, I own most of the ones that are currently released in English. I do own some Japanese versions as a little motivator to learn the language and finally be able to play those games. And I do own like some of the ones that were localized into English. It's still like the Asian or Japanese version of the game that just came with English that I own. Um, so I still sadly am too dumb to find just you know, they're really, really nice image that I wanted to show. So I'm going to have to uh, 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 uh. Nope, that was not correct. Okay, it is not perfect. I would love to not show that it's actually open in a browser. So wait, we can put this like this. This is going to be better. Yes, this is the game in my very, very scuffy way to show you guys. This is the really, really pretty art, pretty guys, super pretty MC, which is also always a plus. Out of the 6 guys, 5 are gonna be love interests for the base game, and the one in the top right corner, I think, is going to be DLC according to the devs. I did ask that because I am a curious person. Or rather nosy, probably. Yes, so I can only play the demo currently because I did not. I do not have a key for the game, and the game is technically not released yet in early access. We might stream more of the game when it is released and when the. Probably I'm gonna wait for a few of the routes to be out before I revisit it, or maybe depending on time and stuff, might even wait until it's almost like fully released. But it's mostly just a time management thing. So yeah, Otome games, big hobby of mine. I mostly play them handheld on the Switch. So to stream them would also be kind of it's not as cozy as they sitting on your sofa curled up with your Switch. Then just then sitting on your PC yapping into a microphone. I'm also not usually yapping a lot while playing visual novels because, as I said, they're kind of like romance choose your own adventure books. So you get to make choices and you hopefully get to the end that you envision. But there might be twists and turns and you might die in some of them until you get to the correct ones. So before we let me see. So if that is actually like interesting to people, I would love to hear more about Otome games. But I also absolutely understand that that might not be interesting to everyone because it is such a niche. Now, going to put that away. I will have to fiddle a bit with the sound probably at the start of it. As far as I've heard, the demo is supposed to be. I think I have to reload my model. It's not really super responsive currently. So. Okay, there we are again. I hope it's better now. Maybe I have to also just get this closer. Sorry for the noises. So yeah, I think the demo is supposed to be about an hour. So I still do want to play this area afterwards. But yes, we will have to see. It may or may not work. I mean, it will probably work. Just if the demo actually runs longer than expected, that would be both very nice because hey, more of the game, right? But also, oopsie. Oh, and before I forget, before I go out of yapping mode, we now have emotes. We have like 6 emotes in total, and most of them I could set for you guys to be totally free and stuff. So I hope you enjoy them. I think they're super cute. I linked the artist in my credits. So if someone is interested, you can, those are available. Why is my stream wonky? Why is only half of the stream filled currently? That's weird. Ah, now it seems to be working again. Twitch is doing some weird stuff sometimes. Now, let's see. I am also going to have to figure out which side is going to be best for my model. I hope that the love interests will be all on the same side. And I can just maybe block out the MC portrait or something. Which I would still show you, but it will probably be blocked for some of the time. Or most of it. Now, I'm trying to listen in if the game is audible, but I don't think it is. Okay, this is better, I think. If I'm starting to stutter and stuff, that's because I listen to myself to try and figure out yeah, what's what with the sound and stuff. I also, and that is like a super big plus and like big props to the devs and so on. When I was testing out the like first 2 minutes or so of the game, I noticed that even the non-sprite people and NPCs are voiced, so I might have to, find good options to yap in between. How did I forget already again how she was called? I'm so sorry. It's Aina. I don't know which of the guys will be in the demo. I'm not sure if that will be in the like finished game and stuff. But just as a personal note, I would love if the default name was filled in. And you can still choose your own, but I'm a person that is not very self-inserty, so I like to keep their name. And I do not want to have to like Google it or something if I start the game. It was the day of my execution. The footsteps down the hallway came closer towards my cell. I had already been given my final meal, so this could mean only one thing. Ah, that time has come already. I'm gonna hide myself for a second, so that you guys can see our wonderful Aina. And let's keep it like that for the start. And I will pop up later again. Public executions were rare, though the gruesome affairs had once entertained the masses in the past, no longer were they welcomed. Or so I thought. Perhaps I was a special exception. Since I was a woman, that was particularly loathsome, especially despicable. At least that is what I've led everyone to believe, unintentionally or otherwise. I had been the target of much hatred even before I laid claim to the ruthless deeds that had left this town torn apart. To be fair, they saw me as the culprit, and all of this was deserved. I can't say my hands were entirely clean either. Even if I did not turn myself in, though, the result mayhaps would have been the same. At least, this way I could... Miss Aina? The guard greeted me grimly. Grimly? One of the few people that still treated me respectfully, my one friend here. I thought he would pretend to not know me, but he was the one to ask what I wished for my last meal. We had often bantered with each other in town, or what this town was before.
It's the perfect day for a beheading, don't you think?
Miss, I hoped the trash they would throw at me wouldn't smell too bad. I have to really quickly change something. Okay. I also think that the sound should be fine now that I heard them talk, but I still will listen in for like one or two more voices.
Miss Aina, it's time to go.
His countenance was supposed to be smooth, but pity and resignation were etched in the way his eyebrows furrowed and mouth sagged. He was young, only 17. Why did they give such a task to someone so young? Disgust, hatred, happiness. For those who did like me, their eyebrows did not crease, as if expecting this very outcome. For the few who did not despise me, hated the path I walked on. And those who did were full of glee, the ones that were still alive anyway. I've seen those eyes countless times in the past year, as they warned me to keep my head down and keep quiet. Countless warnings I did not heed. Just look straight ahead, miss.
You're a little too young for this, aren't you?
You're not much older.
What do you mean? I got a whole 4 years on you. I'm an adult.
While I tried to lighten the mood, despite the very morbid end that was awaiting me, the crowd's whispers turned into jeers. Filthy bitch!
You've brought nothing but doom to this town!
I was pelted by what smelled like rotten food. Despite the urge to heave, I maintained my countenance to remain the calmest it could ever be. I wanted to keep my dignity to the end, whatever was left of it. There wasn't much food to throw since we had cut the supply routes.
Ouch!
So they threw rocks instead.
Hey! One scratch gets on us and you'll be in the jail next!
Next, huh? I smiled, and I could see him wince.
Sorry?
He whispered to me in a hush.
It's all right. You're not wrong.
You really defending a traitor like her?
I'm next to her, you idiot!
This was necessary, I told myself. It was what I signed up for. It was for the sake of the nation. It would eventually pay off, even if I would not be around to witness it. No matter how calm I tried to be, though, I could not control the lurching in my stomach. I knew this would come, but I was terrified to the core. Death was coming, yet I still could not fathom that I would be gone in just a short while. But more than that, I longed for what I would be leaving behind. My family, my favorite bread, fresh from the bakery, crispy and fluffy. I could never taste it again. See, a favorite bread I can absolutely understand as a German person with our variety of breads. After everything, why is thinking about bread bringing me to tears? My last moments on earth, and my mouth was watering. I asked for one last loaf of my final meal, but the flavor was not what it always had been. I tried to remember the taste I once cherished, but better than the bread was the people that I shared it with. Ah, so that's why my heart hurt so. The guard brought me to a sharp halt. I thought my execution would be done in the middle of the town. Despite the burned, indistinct rubble, I knew exactly where this was. A cruel estate that was the source of all troubles. Of course, they met their demise. He made sure of it, and that was why I was here. His sins were greater than my own, but if he was the one that forged the path, I was the one who paved it. I laughed as I looked up at the burning sky. Someone thought this was the perfect place for me to die. Would my grave be here as well, or would they even bother burying my body at all? I'm sorry. His voice was barely a whisper. I shook my head. There was nothing he could have done.
Thank you.
For being with me at the end. At least my death wouldn't be a lonely one. Someone covered my head with a sack, a final mercy. I didn't have to look at the blade that would take my life. I hope Felix can have some bread tonight. I pray that it is warm. I hope he will carry on our work and see our dream through.
Please don't miss me too much. And forgive me for doing this.
The blade swung. This trailer or this intro is also on the Steam page, so I've already watched it and it's so good. After that, it was as though I was trying to study a painting through a net. What a shame, someone so young and bright. More pity, why did everyone pity me? I knew what I was getting into. My head hurt. Walk forward. I stepped forward. If I still had a body, I could not see it. I could only trust my footfalls would take me to a destination. Opened the door. The light grew brighter.
Is there no way to reconsider?
You forget that this is more in your power than mine. I've done what I could.
I will not back down.
Arguing. Lots of arguing. I think it was about me. I wish someone would tell me what was going on. Keep walking. It's like someone is flipping pages of a book. My own life was but a chapter, like ink on a page long disintegrated. Faces along the way, like new characters. A hand reached out to me. Are you sure you wish to do this? There will be a price to pay. I cannot help you. But what did I agree to? This was just a memory, wasn't it? Still, I could barely remember anything. Take the hand. My heart hurts. It hurts.
It hurts! It hurts! Make it stop, please!
I begged to any entity that would listen to me. My heart, no, entire being throbbed in pain for what felt like an eternity. Then, as sudden as it started, it was over. I was at peace. The loneliness never left me, but it was distant. The searing pain that tore my heart felt like a separate entity, as if it floated next to me. It was a dull ache that didn't consume me, but didn't leave me either. Was this what happened after death? Where am I going?
I'm sleepy.
time was an endless stretch. All the voices that swirled in my head soon faded away. Sometimes the same memories visited me again and again, each time they grew more distant. And then I finally fell into a dreamless state. I think I slept for a very long time. Wake up! There's some people waiting for you. Come on, follow me.
Who are you?
Come on, Sleeping Beauty, you can ask questions later. My eyes were still entirely bleary, but I regained enough control of my limbs to reach out to her. She took my hand, and the warmth of her touch grounded me, enough to walk forward and through another door. This looks distinctly not fantasy. Or rather, probably like the fantasy version of a general office with like kind of cubicles. Not quite. This time, I could feel everything. My feet were firmly planted on the ground. When I stretched out my hands, I could see them, every finger. I touched my neck to find it was still attached. A young woman guided me through a long hallway. She bade me to sit down. A few moments later, she handed me a drink. I believe this is coffee. I have mostly drank tea in my life, though. It is sweeter than I remember it, and quite chilly, too. How long has it been since something has passed my lips? Just a few days ago, but it feels like it's been a lifetime. Actually, no, several lifetimes. My head was pounding, so I focused on the drink to steady myself. Where am I, anyway? I heard loud footsteps and a raucous group approaching me. Sounds of bickering and a few exasperated sighs reached my ears. While I have been in crowds aplenty, this one felt overbearing, more so than the last one I'd faced, and they pelted things at me. I haven't heard such noise in a century. Hello, who are you? And where am I? What's happening?
Consider us your welcoming committee.
Welcome committee? For what?
Congratulations, you're dead. Welcome to the afterlife.
Well, that was not very welcoming at all.
I'm dead?
Why was that surprising? My head got chopped off. All my memories after that were particularly fuzzy, but I recalled that much. I suppose these things take some time to get used to. I should be grateful that I was on my own 2 feet again. Wait, I knew that. Why are you so surprised then? Well, I suppose I didn't know what to expect afterwards. Death is a shocking thing, you know. I guess our red-haired guy here isn't voiced yet in the demo. Which is sad. I would have loved to have like at least a sampling of everyone. But we will just, you know, keep that for when the game actually comes out. You've had quite a while to get used to the whole idea. I have? How does one get used to being dead in a few days? Or it could have been longer. This was a pain. I peered around them, hoping to see a door to heaven. Hopefully it was heaven. I know I did some bad things, but they wouldn't put me in hell, right? So, where are we going? The men all looked at each other. Which one of you will do the honors? Not me. I'm not good with these things. I'm not qualified to. Are you not the boss, Kame? Kame pretended not to hear this. How about we draw straws? It's such a hassle. If it's such a hassle to tell me where to go, then I'll go find someone else to tell me. Where's the nice woman who gave me the coffee? Lilia? The bespectacled man named Kame snorted. She's the last person you'd want to ask. You'd get a summary that tells you nothing you need to know and get yourself into trouble. Well, even more trouble. Oh no, they're sending me to hell, aren't they? I gulped.
Oh, I'm in trouble? I have to go down there?
The last part came out in a whisper, despite my attempts to keep my voice steady. I looked at the floor, expecting it to swallow me whole. Luckily for you, you escaped that fate. Oh, thank goodness. But there is a price and a punishment. Its grin did not match his ominous tone. Oh, he doesn't seem very nice. Aries, you're frightening her. So far, I think these three are the ones I'm looking forward most to. And sorry, sneezing. And then there is like one guy that's on the Steam page and in the marketing materials that has green clothing, and he also looks very enticing, and I hope he's going to be DLC at least. I believe we should begin with introductions. Look at you doing a better job than our leader. I'm not your leader, Safan. You're the highest rank. I feel more like a father trying to rein in his troublesome brats. Thanks, Pops. Never knew what it's like to have a dad. Anyways.
I am Kame Aster. It is a pleasure to finally meet you.
Finally? He had his hand out for a handshake. Is this the proper human This is the proper human formality, correct? Human? Well, I usually curtsy. I quickly took it and mimicked his gesture, although it felt quite awkward, as it was a gesture I witnessed mostly among knights. She's from an earlier time period, remember? Ah, yes. What?
Name's Zafan. Up top.
Oh, he is at least, some of it is at least voiced. Nice. He raised a hand, and I waved back at him. Don't mess with her already. You just said... Sorry. He interrupted and gave me a smooth wink. I was trying to give you a high five. Didn't mean to confuse you. He ruffled my hair and stood back to pass the baton to the next man.
I am Valafar.
He bowed politely, and I returned the gesture with a curtsy.
Aries.
He made no such movements and only nodded at me. Ouch, cold reception. You feeling shy? Hush. Nice to meet you too.
I am Sair, an angel.
As if to prove it, he floated into the air for a few moments. What a show-off. Wow, a real angel. Don't believe Don't tell me you're believing him so easily. I ignored him. Do you have wings and feathers? He hesitated for a moment before answering. Only on special occasions. They can get in the way. Wow, I want to see. Haha, perhaps some other time. He's gonna have gorgeous CGs, I already know. Just by the introductions. Reapers are cooler, and we have powers too. His tone felt rather petulant. Ah, wait a minute. The human comment from before stuck out. Are you all Reapers? Is it so shocking? You just believed that man is an angel. Sarah smiled at me serenely. Yes, well, I mean... I did not have a good answer, so I decided to ignore those statements altogether.
So, if you're Reapers, are you the ones that brought me to the other side?
Correct, although you have been on the other side for quite a while now. Do you not remember? I don't. Was it Lilia who got me? I just came through this door. She got you from Purgatory, but she doesn't do any reaping herself. You can say she's a bit of a complicated case. Oh? A story for another time. Come on, you two, stay on topic. Do you not remember your stay in Purgatory? I was in Purgatory? I did not recall this. Oh wait, did I? All those voices, the people I saw on my way here. I thought I was hallucinating. Have you recalled? I'm afraid it's mostly a blur. I remember some voices, seeing some people pass by. I remember sitting on a bench under a tree, long paths, and I think I talked to people sometimes.
Nothing more specific?
No, I'm sorry. For some reason, he seemed agitated. I felt bad about having to disappoint him. What's gotten into you, Sayer? You are usually the picture of serenity. How about we move to the lounge? He indicated with a jerk of his head at the curious onlookers. Currently, only overtime workers are at the office, so we have this place to ourselves. What a strange area. I walked up to this giant box holding little round objects. What is this? A vending machine. That's where your coffee came from. You put your phone against the black part and you select with these buttons and it'll give you your drink. He demonstrated by getting himself a coffee, just like mine. You see, why does it look like your eyes are going to fall out of your head? Sorcery. It boggled my mind. How could a box know what you wanted? How could it return an object? Perhaps you can think on it another time. Yeah, we were talking about your time in Purge. What do you remember? Well, last thing I really remember was getting my head chopped off. Arias winced. I remember it really hurt at the time, but it feels like that was so long ago. How long have I been dead for? Well, we must check the records. I'd say 300 years? That long? The guys flinched at the sudden increase in volume. Sorry, no wonder it feels many lifetimes away. I really feel like I've aged. Despite your loss in memory? I nodded. Yes, I know only bits and pieces, but I feel something weighing down my heart. Maybe over time I can remember why I feel this way.
It is peculiar that you remember your human life, yet not your time in the afterlife. Usually it is in reverse.
You're just a weird one. Thanks. No, that simply evens things up that simply liven. Oh my god, sorry. That's the non-native here. Now, that simply livens things up all the more. I suppose it is up to me to explain why you're here, what you must do, and where you shall go. You have served most of your sentence in purgatory. However, you are to work indefinitely as a reaper until some conditions are satisfied. What are those conditions? I cannot say. Oh, why not? Curiosity killed the cat, and satisfaction brought it back. Aries rolled his eyes and turned away. I laughed to myself. It was banter that I often used to have with my best friend. Of course, Aries did not seem to be as willing a partner. Wait, my best friend Felix, if 300 years had passed, then that meant he was gone too now. No matter what he did, he was my closest friend, he was my other half. But there were more pressing matters at hand, so I would have to wallow in my sorrow later. I cannot tell you the conditions, because I do not know. You are to serve your sentence until the powers above have decided otherwise.
I thought you guys are the powers above.
We're the powers below, except Zaire, who is technically from above, but who doesn't have much weight either.
'Tis true. The powers above are much higher than I am.
So, if we are below this is hell? No, you were spared from that. Remember? Keep up.
And hell doesn't have coffee.
Valafar nodded sagely. What exactly is my sentence for? Have I been that bad? The men all exchanged myriad expressions with each other. Yes, you took the fall for an evil, evil man and helped him along the way. I could not deny that, although he was doing some bad things, I did not find him evil in the slightest. This did not seem to be the time to contest that. And the results were catastrophic, almost world-ending, a calamity beyond all disasters. Yes, thank you, we get the message. Hold on, I thought things would get better if I... Oh, no, miss. Frankly speaking, everything went to shit. You sacrificed yourself for the crimes of that man, and in turn he ravaged the world. What? That was the last thing I could have ever expected to hear. Angered by your death, he decided to wage war across the country, as well as the neighboring lands. What? What did you expect? He was a wrathful man. You witnessed that before your death as well, correct? It was justified. We wanted to change the country. Well, you changed it all right.
I meant for the better, not for the worse. What happened?
You enabled a terrible man, even before your misguided martyrdom. You encouraged him in his sins. Alright, I understand. This is because I was his partner, right? The powers above decided that enablement of a sinner is also a sin, especially in this case of your final act. Hundreds of thousands of lives were forfeit. Yours truly had to be involved too. Stefan pointed at himself with a grim expression. We can come back to that later. Valafar cut him off before he could begin his tale. Deflated, Safan pouted but did not protest. All because of what he did? No, that's not entirely true. Oh? You're right, I did enable him. Instead of telling to rein himself in, I encouraged him, but I thought he knew best, so I never disagreed with him. I just aided him in the pursuit of our goals. I thought if I limited myself to a certain extent, my hands wouldn't be dirtied, but if he was the one to administer the poison, then I was the one that brewed it.
And if I could give my life for him to continue on his path, our path, then it would all be okay.
I had gladly done so in the end. I rubbed my neck where the axe had fallen. I should have seen it all coming. If it makes you feel better, you weren't the only one punished. There are others who suffered greatly. It doesn't make me feel better at all. That just makes it worse. I'm not some cruel person, or I hope I'm not. At least you aren't to go to hell. So long as you fulfill your work. And what if I don't want to?
Hell is not a fun place. Do you want a taste of it?
That's where that bastard went. Your disgusting friend. His eyes narrowed for a moment. I could see the flames of hell in his pupils. No, that's okay. So Felix ended up there. All we did was for nothing. His choices after my passing were ultimately his own, but was it my fault? I was the catalyst, wasn't I? Maybe I should go down there after all. As if he could read my thoughts, Kame gently put a hand on my shoulder. Aries. He rebuked the sharp man while giving my shoulder a comforting squeeze. He didn't apologize, making Kame sigh, but he didn't press the matter. Just know that your sentencing is beyond our power. Apologies if you feel wronged, but this is how it is in the afterlife. I wish there was a way I could appeal it. I mean, I've already been in purgatory, right? Correct, although you didn't have too much to purge, so you've been sleeping for most of your duration there. Eh? What do you mean? Well, thanks to you and your friend turned tyrant king, there was a lot on everyone's agendas. So you slipped our radar. What's a radar? Think of it as something that has kept everyone's notice for now. Man, they really left you sleeping too long. So I was forgotten. Our apologies. There was an awkward moment of silence. I definitely could tell there were things that they weren't telling me. But in truth, I need some time to process all this. I nodded along as I thought I understood all they told me, but I felt that it had yet to sink in. You should get some rest. It was as if he had read my mind. Ah, yes, well, you had quite the slumber. I believe you do need some time to think. We set up a cool room just for you. You knew I'd be coming? We are your welcoming committee, after all. Of course we had to do some preparation. And Lilia helped. She said our taste sucks. Oh, well, I'll be sure to thank her. They said she's lazy and troublesome, but the girl's been nice to me so far. Although this coffee is cold, the warmth it gave my heart was something I felt nostalgic for. I held onto it tightly as we exited the office and made for the place that would be my new home. Okay, this is a lot less fantasy than I expected it to be. This feels like it is just a like office setting here. I don't think that we're gonna get office slice of life or anything, but office fantasy is also kind of a fun concept. I was terrified out of my mind. We were inside a strange contraption. Think of it as a mini carriage. He had said, yet there were no horses and it moved of its own accord. Sorcery. And to make it worse, it moved too quickly. Would you like to hold my hand? Sayir sat to my right and Safan to my left. I was sandwiched between them, squished like a child hiding inside a cupboard. Looks like she'll destroy Kame's seats otherwise. Orias was seated in the front, staring out the window. Kame, who was driving this bizarre vehicle, huffed a languished sigh as he spun the wheel.
I would prefer that not happen, if you don't mind.
Or else I may switch cars with one of the others. Certainly, you wouldn't dare take mine. You should have gone with Balafar then, or brought your own. I hadn't realized that I had a death grip on the leather seats. My nails had been digging in and my knuckles had gone white. See, that is the preferable method of destroying the car out of fright and scaredness and stuff. There's other muscles you can lose your control over. That would be a whole lot more bothersome in a tight car with lots of people. And, you know, I mean, you might be able to save the leather because it should, you know, if it's sturdy enough. You might be able to wipe it then, but yeah, no. I held the angel's hand, and while I was still in fear for my life, non-life, he was positively delighted.
You can hold my hand too.
I took him up on that offer. My strength was divided between holding each hand. Please, do not be so anxious. You are a Reaper now. Can't die again that easily. Doesn't mean she can be reckless. Well, yeah, but she doesn't have to be a nervous wreck either. Try looking out the window. I'm sure this will all be new to you. This place is called Stasis. It's got a lot to do, thanks to everything we borrow from the human world. I braved a glance outside. It was bizarre. Gone were the structures I had grown up with, or the rubble it had become. Instead were looming buildings. Bright lights. Cool, isn't it? The purgatory humans helped us design this place. Angels come down here to frolic, so a lot of time is always put into construction. But where we come from, there is little in entertainment. Wait. I'm being too dumb to read here. Give me the log. Up where we come from, there is little in entertainment. Though they make the best alcohol. I had so many questions. The purgatory humans? Purgatory is a place where humans purge their sins before they go to heaven. So, am I going to heaven?
You are a special case.
You stirred up so much trouble they didn't know what to do with you.
That's why they left you in there for so long. Anyways, rather than just wandering around and purge, the ones with skills can just serve their sentence here. Now and then, you get humans that work here before going to heaven. Or even come down from heaven now and then. So, I didn't have any skills? That's not the case, but rather you were assessed to be a danger. What? Who am I dangerous to? Yourself and millions of people? Point taken, but I'm not that reckless. Aries scoffed. And I'm here now, aren't I? Under strict supervision, our heads are on the line. Really? So don't toe out a line. But she has matured from her stay in purgatory. You may have forgotten your memories, but do you truly feel like the same person? My soul felt heavier, things were still foggy, and I've barely had time to think here. I think I have changed. I just need to figure out how. Hopefully it is for the better. Oi, ease up, will ya? Never seen you be this much of a dick. Don't listen to him. He was in charge of making sure you'd get here safe and sound. Bullshit. You all just wouldn't stop talking about her. How come you all know me? I appreciate the help, but is there a reason why you're looking out for me? Let's just say a series of events have led to us being responsible for you.
So if you mess up, we all die.
Zafan, please. It would be a worthy death.
No, I don't want anyone dying for me. Besides, aren't we already dead? Yet you died for another so easily. Anyway, while humans and things that normally hurt humans can't fatally can't fatally harm us, other powers can. Keep that in mind. Alright. At last, we were free from the nightmarish ride. I was sitting in my brand new room. Although the structures I've seen so far have been unfamiliar, this was close to my old quarters in Felix's home. Was this on purpose? They told me to stay out of the kitchen for now and just ask them if I needed any help, since there would be machinery I did not yet know to operate. I was given this watch thing to contact them, but how could that possibly work? Sorcery. Just as I started tapping on the surface, something appeared on the screen, and the watch began to make noises. After several moments of deliberation, I tapped it. Hey, how are you settling in? Ah! I threw the infernal device, and the shatter replaced the sound of his voice. Ah. I shouldn't have done that, I think. Sorcery. The next day. Here, I'll teach you how to use it. While the device was sturdy, the screen itself needed some repairs. The men were shocked at my strength, though Lilia praised me until came shoot her out. And so, Safan was here with a case of tools. Probably should have fought you in the first place. It would mean less work on our hands. Yesterday, after I tossed the infernal device away from me as far as I could, it thunked against the wall and fell to the floor with a spectacular shatter.
Foul creation!
I climbed up onto the counter and looked for some sort of a weapon. Luckily, I found a broom to brandish at the cursed item. Not that I knew anything about exorcism. Perhaps I should have joined a convent after all. Before I had any more time to regret my course in life, hurried footsteps echoed outside of my door. Are you okay? Safan was huffing after opening the door, and the group of guys filed in. Besides him was Valafar, who was sleepily rubbing his eyes. Aries was in tow, and Zaire peered inside curiously. While Kame wasn't very visible, I could still see him rubbing his temple. You could have knocked. We thought something had happened. The angel referred to his beautiful face as he came up to me, still crouched on the counter. Are you hurt? He put a hand on my head and his eyes did a once-over of me. What happened? A voice started coming out of my watch and I thought it was possessed. It was terrifying. Ah, thanks, that was my voice. Eh?
Is my voice that scary?
He whispered to Rias, who nodded, much to Safan's dismay. We should have explained how it worked to you. You must have been frightened. I tried to slide off of my seat, but Valafar stopped me. We should check for any broken glass. Though you are a Reaper now, injuries will still hurt since you are new to this life. It will take time for your powers and resistance to develop.
Paper cuts will never stop stinging, no matter how many years pass.
He spoke bitterly and glared at the floor as though there was a sheet of paper lurking, threatening to slice him. How unfortunate. While Valafar picked up the watch, Safan and Urias studied the floor for any debris. They confiscated my broom and then began the lecture. We did not think your first reaction would be to throw the item. I said I was sorry. I told you I thought that the watch was possessed. We have to remember there was no technology from her time. He gave Aries a pointed look. However, the next time you come across a suspicious item, it may not be wise to toss it. There could be an enchantment designed to hurt you. Really? Like what? I thought it'd be safe as a Reaper at least. You'd be mistaken, remember? There are other powers out there that can harm you. I nodded. There are rogue Reapers out there, bad spirits from the human world, and actual demons that so far have escaped our grasp. The longer one's lives, the more powerful they grow, so there are many out there who can hurt you. But how come they go rogue? Pursuit of power or a different life? I could see why. We all stared at him. Not that I have any plans to go rogue, jeez. Then you should watch your words, especially where we are. Are there any bad angels? Seer shook his head.
Angels cannot have ill intent, so it is not possible for them to stray.
Furthermore, all action angels do are recorded automatically and sent to a record keeper. How can they not have any ill intent? It's just how it is. Reapers are built a certain way, angels are built a certain way. Reapers are unattached. Their goals are to become humans, to be promoted. Their end goals are to become humans, be promoted to higher work, and possibly become angels. Although I've rarely heard it actually happen. Because of this, it is rare to see Reapers in relationships or even have more than a couple friends at most. A group like ours is an anomaly. They, of course, can have casual relations if they so choose, but most find no need to tie themselves down to this life. Angels get to deal with the nice parts of life. All we see is death, so you can imagine why they want a promotion. Or to settle down as a human once they fulfill certain conditions. Of course, that is not appealing to everyone. And you do have those that have come into this life after once being human, whether it be by choice. An exceptional event, I assure you. Or those that must work off their karmic debt. It's a lot to take in. Theo pat me fondly on the head.
You will learn.
Aries bristled. You are quite friendly to her. Why? Yeah, you're not that nice to us, or at all. Could it be... I didn't think he had it in him. Steer gave him a look. He certainly can be heartless for an angel. Even you, Valafar. Ah, stop teasing him. I'm sure it's because I'm new. I defended him more for my sake than his, if I were to be honest. Alright. We'll back off, for now. We need to get to business, as it is. Let me teach you the basics of using this. Try not to throw it again. Sorry, I thought a demon was in there. You're afraid of demons? Well, who isn't? Rias pointed at himself, then to Kame. Do you not notice that we have demon-like qualities? Are you demons? I thought you were Reapers. Not mutually exclusive concepts, there are good demons and bad ones. Take some perceptions of the Grim Reaper across different places. Those that can perceive the supernatural have some foundation for our appearances. Of course, we don't know if they truly see us or if we just look like the scary pictures they conjure of us. I see, they've always been terrifying in the paintings I've seen. Scary things aside, Let's get to work. After many hours of patience from Stefan, with Valafar and even Lilia occasionally dropping by to help, I think I have finally understood this device. While it is a watch, they say it's like a smartphone that is capable of doing many other things I need for my Reaper work. I still could not say that I have grasped everything, but I believe I could work this. Alright, test time. Never mind. Wait, I don't think I'm ready. Go ahead and send a text to someone. Let's see. I'm currently most interested in Ser and Aries. So let's go with him first. Hello? Aina, how wonderful it is to receive a message from you. My, you are learning quite quickly. You really think so? Yes, I'm quite proud. You flatter me, Seer. I think I've got a long way to go. Great, now call someone. What? We were moving too fast.
What now?
This isn't a very proper greeting. I'm doing my test for Safan.
And what is it for?
To see if I can call people.
You succeeded. Well done.
You could be nicer.
What else do you want? Do you want me to throw you a party?
Unfortunately, I have other things to do, so we'll have to settle with this.
Unfortunately,
Oh,
I have
oops.
other things to do, so you will have to settle with this.
Wait, did I maybe skip some voice lines because there was a little delay there?
Seek praise elsewhere.
I wasn't seeking praise. Goodness, are you always this grouchy?
You're learning quickly. Anyways, I need to get going. Is that all? I need to get back to work.
No, I think I did not. I think I was the only one that had this delay. So far, at least. Look at you, passed with flying colors. He ruffled my hair with a proud look in his eyes. Thanks, teacher. Of course, my star pupil. Alright. Alrighty. He claps his hands together. How about we go get some lunch? Then Val can give you a tour of the place. Since you'll be working with us closely, best get to know each of us better. If you want, of course. I do. Ha, glad you're taking this also all well so far. Looking forward to working with you, Miss Aina. Just Aina. Just Aina. Shook my hand with a playful show of pomp and circumstance. Will everyone like me? Of course they will. I already do. I did not think you were the type to be a flirt, Safan. Safan yelped, completely taken unaware by a voice from behind. Perfect timing, Valafar. Where did you come from? The drop this morning was a quick one. Come, let us start. Over there you have the training hall. Oh, what's in there? A lot of training dummies. Typically, the goal is to take out as many of them as possible in a short amount of time. Or you have a target and you have to take them out as quickly as possible without accidentally killing one of the innocents. Does our line of work involve a lot of combat? Depends. There's always the chance to encounter unfriendly spirits. I remember hearing of those before, but I didn't think it would be something I'd actually deal with.
I have to fight ghosts?
Yes. looked at him in horror. You jest, surely? Madame, I assure you I do not. While his face was relatively smooth, I could definitely see him biting back a smile. Was my dilemma a source of amusement to him? How cruel. That is why you must learn to protect yourself from them. I know some combat, but my best friend had fought me since we were younger.
Didn't do such a good job, did he? You're here dead, aren't you?
That was my own decision. Only because you didn't know how to fight enough to run away, right? Aries, enough. You talk a lot for someone in second place. Ouch. Second place in what? You see, we keep a tally of the scores from the training hall. I'm not in second place, I'm merely tied with Kame. Indeed, and since you are tied for first, neither of you are the winner. So does that not naturally make you second place? I think you're both winners. Thanks. Still beat you, Valafar, haven't I? So you have, so you have. Since you're so proficient, how about you show Miss Aina here the ropes later? Please, just call me Aina. Very well then. Me? Isn't the tour your job? Are you trying to shirk your duties off to me? For shame. I am not you, Aries. I am the tour guide. You can handle her training. For someone who made sure her arrival would be perfect, you enjoy pretending other... Aries glared with such intensity, even I had to look away. You did? None of your business. He briskly walked away. Aries? Fine, later. And then he went out of sight. Very well. But as to what I was saying before, you will meet ill spirits, yes, but it should not be too often. You are not to harm humans, but if you are on an assignment as a fixer, the occasion may arise. There are also the Rogue Reapers, or Rogues for short. You may need to protect yourself against them. Or conduct arrests if required. Wow, I have a lot of responsibilities, don't I? And you shall carry them out wonderfully. Ah, I forgot to explain about the office. Post-reaping reports are filed here. Reports? Do I have to write them too? No, we have a separate staff to review the actual reapings. Reapings are recorded automatically. Typically, the recordings are studied only if there is an anomaly. Recorded automatically. Yes, into our Hall of Memories. That sounds fancy.
Which is not a stop on your tour.
From out of nowhere, Kame popped in and regarded Valafar with a stern countenance.
Must each one of you interrupt me?
In return, he greeted Kame with a withering sigh. Pardon my rudeness, but yes, I believe that is a lesson for another time. Oh, now I'm more curious. He chuckled, his eyes crinkled with his laugh. Hold on to that curiosity. I assure you, you will be going somewhere much better in a bit. Far more magical. Ah, the gate? Precisely. How about we take her to the human world? She should see what it is like in the present day. Goodness, do you mean right now? Why not?
Oh, are you going to the human world? I shall come along.
I was not informed that this would be part of the tour. He was rubbing his temple now, much like a school teacher who had lost control of his students. But it'll be fun anyway, right? I can't wait to see how much the human world has changed. Perhaps I could stand to wait longer. I was still not used to the sensation of riding. What was it called? Ah, an elevator. My stomach churned as we seemed to descend for ages. What if I can't handle it? Are you excited to go into the human world? Perhaps he could sense I was rattled and spoke in soothing tones. Sayer, do you not have any work to attend to? No angelic business of any sort? You must not have a lot of work to come along with us. Rias had seen us all going to the elevator in the hallway and tagged along without being asked.
I wonder. Perhaps this is part of my business.
And you're joining us too.
Because, like it or not, you're my business too.
Rias rolled his eyes, but said nothing else after that. There's only one thing on this floor, this gate here. It was a short walk from the elevator, but while the rest of the building was styled differently, age showed in this hallway. How come this place is rather dilapidated? Strange, is it not? We live in the city of stasis. Our weather changes and we have day and night cycles. Yet it is all artificial. I suppose it is to give a semblance of routine, change. So consider this hallway to be the sole representation of change. While time does not pass here, centuries have passed beyond this door. The 6 of us gathered in front of the gate. Centuries have passed. Yes, however, we can access any point of time in the past. We do so regularly. Why is that? There are more humans than Reapers, therefore there are many more dead souls than Reapers. Meaning you are understaffed? Precisely. Different Reapers are assigned to different points of time and geographic locations. We are mostly caught up, but there are stragglers. Occasionally there is some trouble that occurs that are outside the records of history that we must correct. Would it not be better to go in order to collect souls? You would think so, but the powers above say otherwise. We would be centuries behind in our own development, unfortunately. Humans have their follies, but what benefits them also benefits us. We can study patterns in technology, society, and all else, and apply it to our city of stasis. Or learn where we must revise and interfere in history, and how to do so. That falls to fixers like Safan and Sayer. That was a lot of information, and I had a lot of questions. Are their souls not waiting for a long time? Yes and no. The second we go to retrieve them, it is right after their death. Even if they have waited until now, our retrieval changes the time they've actually waited for eventually.
I see. It seems lonely, waiting for centuries.
But then I suppose they haven't waited in the end. Exactly. The problem is that sometimes before we get to them, they can become troublesome spirits. If wayward, they cause mayhem, or worse, turn evil. It's a broken system. And we have our naysayers, of course. Rias hung to the back, and Safan and Sayer each held my hand as Kame approached the gate. Best to show you this part in practice. Remember 2 things. Do not harm any of the humans, and do not interfere in their affairs. I nodded like a good student. Forgive me for taking over, Valafar. It is quite alright. It was not as though I had prepared for this part of the lesson in advance. While he smiled, his tone indicated that he was quite put out. Anyway, he held up a pocket watch with a blue cover. Nouveau City, by the Roseview Shopping Center, present day. The door opened and the entryway glowed white. Follow me. Hi, Abby. Yes, sir. I was speaking to Aina. Rude. Without sparing a second glance, Kaim stepped forward. Would you like to go next? I looked at the doorway that swallowed Kaim. Although it wasn't entirely different from the doors I passed through in my dream, there was a nervous pit inside of my stomach. It's nothing to be afraid of. Here, I show you. Surprisingly, Aries spoke up, and in a moment he was gone as well. Aw, see, he does care. He would have your hide if he heard that. Shall I take my leave next? Let's all go together. The man nodded at me. With my hands still clasped in between theirs, we walked forward. A cold breeze tickled my face, and my clothes rustled. I feared the sensation would be unpleasant, but it was no different than stepping outside. Here we are. My escorts let go of my hand and gestured towards the sky. What do you think? This place was not unlike Stasis. Strange buildings were all around, although they seemed more plain than the ones I've seen back home. Not that I have been in the non-human world for long. In fact, it was strange to think of myself as different from the humans. It is unfamiliar. Then I do believe it is time to familiarize yourself. Shopping? How about we get some bubble tea? I can sense your true motives in coming along. They continued to rattle off suggestions as we went around. The people around us were nothing like the ones I've lived amongst. Their clothes were all of far less substance, but also far more colorful. Everything was so cool. It was a little overwhelming. There were so many shops with things I've never seen before, and scents from all directions. As the others continued ahead, I found myself hanging back to take in the scenery. Hey, miss, you like adventure? Huh? I have the offer for you. It won't take too long, and you'll get a free trip out of it. He held out a leaflet of paper with some pictures on it. Oh, it did look pretty. Well, I suppose that's nice, isn't it? Come this way. So, you see, Aina, I think you would quite like these bubble waffles. Aina?
Hey, where did she go?
What do you mean, where did she go?
Oh no. Ooh, this is actually longer than I expected. I thought you had an eye on her. How could you lose her? What? I thought she was with you.
Why would she be with me? God, you're so irresponsible!
The bickering, escalating in volume, began to draw attention to the group.
You two, settle down.
Just use the GPS on her phone.
You activated it, right? Zafan?
Of course, what do you take me for? Despite his confident words, he was sweating bullets as he checked the software on his phone. Ah, shit. What do you mean, ah, shit? Zafan, you didn't? Zafan felt himself having palpitations that were strong enough to knock out any human.
Now, Aries, thou shalt not commit violence against thy fellow man.
Shut it, Angel. Wait, I can just call her. Hold your horses. Hurry, before he bursts a vessel. Zafan regarded the others with an indignant stare, though all of their faces held a tinge of worry. I hope she picks up. That's what she has a phone for, doesn't she? We can find her regardless, Aries. Do not fret so. Shh, she picked up. They all huddled in closer. It was a particular sight, 5 handsome men all huddled together in the middle of the street over one phone. A few passerbys wondered if there was some sort of host club nearby, but their demeanor suggested that they wouldn't be taking any customers. Hello? Oh good, she didn't throw it. She didn't throw it this time. This isn't my first time using it. Excuse me, miss. Who are you talking to? Where are you? Is that your husband? Perfect. Tell him we have a deal for him too. I'll give you the address, so you can come join our little party. They all stared intensely at his phone. Stefan's phone pinged a few more moments later. Check it.
I am. God, your bannies are in such a twist.
Not the time, Stefan. Stefan growled under his breath, then input the address into an app. Oh, thank God. Okay, she's in some weird little build. Rias grabbed Stefan's phone without waiting for him to finish and started to run. What the Bro, hello? As Stefan protested, the other man had already zoomed right behind Arias. You better give that back, you little... And Stefan too joined the pursuit. Can I go now? I'd been led into this rather dodgy looking place. The people did not seem like they wanted to harm me, but they were annoyingly persistent. But you won't be able to get your free cruise if you leave. I had no idea what they were talking about. This is an opportunity of a lifetime. You will really be helping us out, miss. I got a sick daughter at home and she'll be able to eat for a week. I do like to help people, I guess. And we want to help you too. So, you see, we're offering 2-bedroom condos and... I raised my hand. Sorry to interrupt, but I have a question. I guess that's like a timeshare thing? Certainly, miss. What is a cruise? And what is a condo? You're pulling our leg, ain't ya? His countenance slid from cheerful to displeased rather quickly. No? I was being genuine. What was so wrong? If you've just been wasting our time, why would you watch our presentation about timeshares if you aren't willing to buy?
I can't buy anything if I don't have any money. You promised a free trip. I think you're the one that's wasting my time.
The group sitting around him stood up and approached me. They loomed in closer and I swallowed. I was in danger. It's okay, I can take them on. Felix taught me how to take on groups like these ones easy. However, I just realized that I had not been given any weapon yet. Damn it. Wait, I could just run. Before I could make a break for it, a loud thud interrupted my plan of escape. Get your hands off our girl. Well, in fact, there were no hands on me, but it did not matter. Arias had landed an impressive kick on the man before me. Hey! What's the big idea? Shame on you, preying on naive women for your scams. I thought we weren't supposed to harm humans. This is an exception. Kidnapping is a very serious crime after all. That said, how could you let yourself get kidnapped? Well, they asked if I wanted adventure and offered a free trip. And she said yes? How did you fall behind so easily? Sorry. Did you forget about us? What did you take us for? Shut up! He kicked the man back down. Let us get out of here and then continue this conversation. Bastards, don't think you can get away with this so easily. Try it and I'll kill you. Or at the very least, get the authorities to put an end to your little operation. This is perfectly legal.
I know how to get a harassment charge on you. Very easily.
Broke bastards. Came rolled his eyes and flashed something at the man. It was some sort of black rectangle, but it caused the gang to become flustered. How strange. so it's like a black Amex or something? The entire path outside, Aries had dragged me along by the wrist, albeit with a gentle hold. What were you thinking, following strangers? This is not what... He stopped himself abruptly, and drew my curiosity. I tilted my head, prompting him to finish his sentence. What? That's not what a sensible person does. It was hard to shake them off, they were so insistent. And you said not to harm. Alright, let us clarify some things. If anyone bothers you, shake them off. Stick to us for now, though. You'll be doing jobs on your own one day, however. You are still... You will be doing jobs on your own one day, however, you're still a fish out of water. Now, Aries, calm down. Let us enjoy some crepes and return. You're thinking of food at a time like this? I think this is the perfect time. She's unharmed, is she not?
You are, right? Otherwise I will return to bestow punishment.
I'm fine, although I'm somewhat confused. I still have no idea what was happening. Stefan will brief you on the details while we go to a particularly delicious crepe.
So I see. Your true motive for this outing.
Stefan explained the concept of these timeshares and what they entailed. I didn't understand quite clearly, but he told me not to get deceived like that again. In my defense, I had found myself caught up in the moment. After all, this was a whole new world to me. What flavor are you going to get, Aina? Oh, there's so many options. I think you'd like this one. He pointed to a picture of a crepe that had strawberries and chocolate. Personally, I prefer cookies and cream. What childish taste. And what will you be having, Aries? Chocolate hazelnut. We each put in our orders and waited one by one to receive our selections. Would you like to try some of mine? You can try mine too. It's matcha flavored. I took a nibble of Sarah's crepe. It wasn't too sweet. What's matcha? It's made of green tea leaves. They make tea-flavored things now? Amazing. Here, try some of mine too. Sarah flushed and took a small bite from mine in return. Delicious. Aw, no fair, I want to share too. Aries scoffed as Stefan and I exchanged flavors. You're just jealous, Aries. I doubt it. He seems not to like me very much. Oh. Ah, I voiced that out loud. That isn't true at all. He was the most worried about you.
He almost tore off Stefan's hand.
And broke my phone. He just doesn't show it to you. I will kill all of you if you don't shut up. And who said I don't like you, Aina?
I'm just not simpering over you like those other thirsty bastards.
Now that is uncalled for. We are simply being polite and caring. Who was the one that got on our asses over... Who got on our asses over how her place should look? I should be comfortable. What are you idiots thinking? Rias scruffed him. Shut it, or the crap gets it. Fine, meanie. The fan pouted and retreated to a safe location to finish his snack. After getting crepes, we went shopping. Tame pulled out that card from before often, and I finally asked what it was and how we were able to get so many things with it. This, my dear, is called a credit card. You can use it to purchase things. It is like magic. Wow, we can use magic to purchase things. Sorcery. Ah, not magic, but rather the power of good investment and supernatural powers. Sorcery. Indeed it is. Typically, we rely on Kame to make financial purchases in the modern world, due to how his little magic works. Of course, though, cash is timeless, if you know the inflation rate and the dates on your notes. I once gave a shopkeeper in the early 1900s a heart attack. I forgot how far a single note went back then. Can currency change so much? Inflation is its own beast, I know. But economics are no fun to talk about, so let's get some boba. Lilia's favorite human invention. Be sure to buy her a cup too, or she'll pout all week. I had no idea what this boba thing was, but the guys decided it was easier to show than tell. Are these little balls, are they safe to eat? Why do they float around? I was looking around at the other patrons at the shop, who each had their own cup of similar looking drinks. Yes, they're totally edible, and just as nice as the tea. I've never had tea that looked like this either. There was a colorful menu before me, with delightful pictures painted with all sorts of colors. I've never seen such picturesque food illustrations before back in my lifetime. How the world has changed. Which one should I get? I think milk tea is safe. Is always a safe option. My personal favorite is oolong. I like matcha. Kame enjoys brown sugar. He has the biggest sweet tooth amongst us. Oh, he doesn't look like he does, right? More like the type of guy who would take his coffee black. I believe you fit that stereotype more. I took a sip and sighed happily as the guys bantered with each other. It was a strange day, but one I had survived. Although I had met them only the day before, I couldn't help but feel like I'd known them for much longer. With our cups of boba in hand, we were set to go back home. I was happily sipping a cup of milk tea when Kame brought his watch bag out. Alright, so there is a button here under navigation that allows you to return to home. All you need to do is press it and we'll return to the hallway like before. What happens if I lose it? I would come find you. He said this very proudly, and Valafar regarded the two of us with an exasperated glance. Please do not lose it. There are some functions, however, to help you not to do that. If you are too far from your device or it is broken, a distress signal will be sent out. Someone will find you then. As you are our responsibility, it will likely be one of us. Try not to rely on that though. Losing one of these can be dangerous. How so? You'll learn in time. I sighed. Yet another thing I'll find out later, I suppose. There was something that occurred to me upon our return back to stasis and away from the realm of humans. The realm of humans, I don't count amongst them anymore, do I? It was hard to accept that I was something other than a human now. It was my job to manage them now, which I still had yet to do. We didn't actually get any work done. Well, this excursion was more to test whether you would collapse from culture shock. You came close with the billboard though. Oh, and the electronics store. Aries was grinning as he continued listing places that took me by surprise. His smile widened as I pouted at him. I can't help it. Even Sayre thought a giant tiger was going to leap at us from the board. It was so realistic. It is true, you cannot fault her for that one. I saw you flinch as well. It was cute how you thought there were little people trapped inside boxes. But at least she did not think it was sorcery and start swinging at it. Even my card can only handle so much. Criminal charges are a bit out of my domain. You'd leave Aina in jail? I'd break her out. As would I, but a wanted poster would make things difficult, would it not? I'm sure we could get Seer to take care of that. Angel magic does have its uses.
Indeed it does. Although while I would cover for you, I advise you not to engage in criminal activities, Aina.
At least not too often. I will do my best. Back at the office, Lilia was waiting eagerly for her dessert.
Oh, you got me rose milk? Thanks!
Lilia gratefully took the cup of tea from me and went back to work on the square box-like thing in front of her. Geez, might as well inject that stuff directly into your veins. Do not give her any ideas she could actually act on. Lilia slurped with indignation, but made no rebuttal. We left her behind and went towards the parking garage. Wanna go with Valafar? He got sulky about going alone last time.
Pardon me? When have I ever sulked?
It is subtle, Valafar, but you cannot entirely hide it. I will go with you as well. You can go with Cayman and Aries. I'm stuck with the boring ones? You can walk then. The exercise would do you well. Or I can go with the definitely not boring ones. While Cayman and Aries teased Safan, Seer, and Valafar pulled me away. I did feel bad about leaving him behind, but oh well. He would be fine, I think. Wait, did they leave already? Don't you guys leave me too? We had gone to the parking garage and Valafar had led us to his car. Have you sat in the front before? I shook my head. Sit in the front seat beside me. I think you'll get a different view of the city. He opened the door for me and held my hand to help me inside. What a gentleman. Oh, it looks just like Kame's car. Ouch. I got too excited while looking around and bumped my head. Careful, you did that yesterday as well. Did she? Your poor head won't like it if you continue bumping it. I am aware. See Valafar shake his head as he closed the door. In the next instant, he was in his seat, the engine already on. These are all company cars, so they're quite similar. Usually it's Kame or I who drive. The others can, but they are lazy. We all live in the same building. It is simply more efficient that way. So you say. I didn't have to look into the mirror to know Seer was pouting in his seat. One thing did appear strange to me, though. I figured it wouldn't hurt to ask. Hey, Seer, I wanted to ask you something. What is it, Aina? If you are an angel, how come you live here? I hope that doesn't offend you. You don't need to answer. You may ask whatever you wish, and I shall answer best I can. His eyes softened, and he smiled with such tenderness that my heart skipped a beat.
You need not tiptoe around me, Aina.
To answer your question, well, I do have my own abode up in heaven, but Stasis has far more entertainment to offer. Since my work aligns closely with that of the Reapers, it is often convenient for me to stay down here. And he does not have friends in heaven. He teased the poor angel and was rewarded with a kick from the back. How unkind. I do too. Where do you think I get all the liquor from? Liquor? The liquor that the angels have are much better fare than anything we can source here or in the human world. Unfortunate, really. The others use me for their supply of alcohol. I'm quite ill-treated, Aina. You do have your uses. Special liquor? Can I try some? Valafar cleared his throat and glanced at me before making a turn. Well, it can be quite strong, so you should take it slowly. I can handle it. Back then, I used to drink well into the night with Felix. It would usually end with myself passed out and either in his bed or mine. He would be draped over me or be flat on the ground. Very well. We usually drink at Kaim's place, or sometimes on the rooftop. The whole building is ours, so we have our own bar. Oh, can I visit the rooftop today? Haha, another time. We had quite a day. It may be better to wind down at Kaim's place. All of us were quite worried when you had gotten kidnapped. I wasn't kidnapped. Aries was truly about to murder Safan for not activating the GPS on your phone. Had we not found you today, there may have been a body on our hands. I wasn't sure what a GPS was, but I felt that I should ask later rather than now. I wonder why. I do as well. While he is rather rude to you, Aries becomes terribly discomposed when it comes to you. Or perhaps he likes her? I did not appreciate the tease in Sayre's glance, but despite his expression, his voice relayed that he was serious. He has a terrible way of showing it then. If you like someone, you should be nice to them. Well said. After that, our conversation steered towards the various sights the city had to offer. Now that I was more used to what it was like being in a car, I could enjoy the views around me. Balafar and Sayre took turns pointing out different places and told me which ones they liked and which I might like. This city is so large. It houses many people, reapers, some wandering angels like Sayre here, and humans. As we mentioned, there are some humans who like being here instead of heaven, and those that are working their depths here rather than in purgatory. I see. Do you like living in stasis, being a reaper, and as an angel? It isn't bad. Some days it is more difficult than others, although that is more due to my profession than my living circumstances. But I prefer to living a human life. Does that mean you have lived as a human before? Yes, long ago. And then?
I think you can imagine how I got here.
Balafar was meant to go to heaven and reincarnate. I processed his paperwork and all. That's a little unsettling to hear. Then what happened? Balafar's fingers danced on the steering wheel for a few moments. He bit his lip as he searched for the right words. I did not wish to go back into such a cruel world. I asked what I could do to stay, and here I am. He is perhaps the first Reaper to ever volunteer for the job. And they let you? Well, we are always quite short-staffed. Denying me would deprive them of an extra set of hands. And I suppose I show my worth through my work. Haven't been reprimanded yet. We had arrived back home before I could plot further, which prompted a natural end to the conversation. Looks like we're here. I can't believe you guys left me with these two. Believe me, it's not like we were dying to be in your company either. Welcome, Aina. I do believe it is your first time visiting one of us. I find myself quite flattered. Well, it's not like she really decided to do so herself. She's here to drink with us. I'm ready for the special angel liquor. Do be careful. Were you able to hold your alcohol well in your past life? Very well. Rias scoffed. I can too. Still, let's take
Don't
it
worry
slow.
so much. I got this.
Balafar turned to Kaim for support. I gave them both the best pleading expression I could manage. It is not like it can hurt you, although you will be very dizzy if you go overboard. I've heard it is similar to what hangovers are like for humans. For an angel like Sayre, he simply gets sleepy and elated. Sayre nodded happily while Kaim poured out drinks for everyone. They came in different colors and hues. Both Kaim and I had drinks with softer colors. His was in purple and mine was colored pink. I had a little umbrella in mine. It was quite cute. Oh, I didn't know you had those umbrellas. How come I didn't ever get any, Mr. Bartender? I didn't buy these for you. I bought these for Aina. Aw, man. That's very sweet of you, Kame. I will cherish this tiny umbrella. As Stefan recovered from the slide, I settled down into the plush couch. Ah, this is nice. I've never had drinks with so many people before. Usually I would end the day with my family or Felix, and he was the only drinking partner I ever had. Hearing the others' conversation was relaxing, and a smile crept onto my lips as I listened. So, how do you like your trip to the modern-day human world? Stefan directed the conversation to me suddenly, and I wasn't sure what to say. I took a sip of my drink before answering. It was sweet and took the edge off of the alcoholic taste. It's overwhelming, but I think it has so many things to offer. I'd like to see them all. So much has changed, but I do wonder if society has changed. What was it like in your time? Stefan. The typically serene Sayre murmured a warning to the redhead, but I didn't mind his question. Well, where I came from, the nobility ruled all. It's not a happy story. I laughed awkwardly and focused on sipping my drink. I didn't want to bring the mood down, so it seemed to be wiser to stay quiet.
If you wish to speak about it, do not hesitate.
You are one of us now. Our ears are open to whatever your heart has to say.
And we wish to know about you. Stefan sat down next to me and put his hand on my shoulder in a gesture of support. If you do not wish to speak, then do not feel pressured to. I nodded and looked at each of them in turn. They are all so kind to me. I'm sure they know the subject matter will be heavy to hear, but even so, I took a few more sips to loosen my nerves. Noblesse oblige. Yeah, right. They did just as they pleased, and everyone bent to their will. My words held a bitter taste in my mouth, and I did not stop. When someone didn't, they'd disappear mysteriously, but not before their reputations were tarnished beyond repair, so no one would care if they'd die or simply vanish. Better off that way, isn't it? No one complains when the trash has been removed, right? It was a dark sentence, and I could feel the discomfort in the atmosphere. At last, Valafar broke the silence. It is appalling. It is. Anyways, let us get back to drinking. I busied myself in my glass, but the conversation around me had yet to resume. I appreciated the opportunity and the company, truly, but I wanted to wither under the concerned stares directed at me. You should finish your thoughts, Aina. Do not let it fester in your heart. No matter how many years may have passed, the wounds in my heart had yet to heal. Even if the passage of time had allowed me to cope with them, to me, they were still fresh. I was one such thorn in their society. My best friend was someone who was well desired and well distinguished. To this day, I wonder why he kept me in his company. That man who went on to destroy the world? I could not understand what his tone meant to convey, but I ignored him regardless. Yes, he should have been married by then, or with someone of an equal stature. But I was wasting his time instead of someone who was worthwhile and who would have been his wife. I was always at his side, as his friend. It was no wonder that no one could grow close to him when I had demanded so much of his time. You were not lovers? Chaim abandoned his drink and leaned forward, a strange glint in his eyes, or perhaps it was the shine of his spectacles. No, our relationship was nothing of that sort. And yet he tore up the entire country to avenge you? Did you turn him down?
He never indicated that kind of interest in me!
The men all glanced at each other, then back at me.
It is too late now to do anything about it, of course. But perhaps you never noticed his affections.
Not that it would change the outcome in any way. I could perhaps see taking drastic measures for a friend, but an attempt to destroy the world? Perhaps he loved you. He attempted to hide his smirk behind his glass, but he wasn't fooling me. Luckily, Aries saved me, and with a certain amount of sensitivity, I did not ever expect of him.
Does it matter now? She clearly never noticed. You are such terrible gossips.
I would not be surprised if Aries was a demon born of Felix, then turned Reaper. You know, they had 300 years to come that far. Forgive me for prying. Life gets monotonous after a few hundred years. And they bickered amongst one another. As they bickered amongst one another, I found my thoughts getting more muddled by the minute. My god, what if he did love me? Everything would make sense. The casual caresses against my head, the way he twirled my hair, how he fussed over me constantly and never left my side, how it was always me on his arm at every gathering. Oh goodness, I was an idiot. All the things that he's done for me. Such as? He was waiting for me to answer, as did the rest of the men. It's just, I suppose it's those gestures that could have been considered romantic, and even more than that, the way others perceived us. I sank my head into my hands. It was all my fault. I was stepping into a world that was beyond my reach. Romantic or otherwise, I should have stayed away. I didn't know my place. I was greedy and my entire family paid the ultimate price for it. That's bullshit. He slammed his hands down hard on the table, and his drink spilled over. Aries? Came coughed to cover up his surprise, and elegantly dabbed the corner of his mouth with a handkerchief, but Aries did not relent. You were not good enough to be with your friend? Do you really buy that? And that was the reason that whatever happened to you happened? I knew you were an idiot, but to this extent? Hey! Aries. Surprisingly, it was Valifa who rebuked him, while Sayer stepped in between the two of them. I understand your feelings, but there's a kinda way to express them. You really need to be more tactful. Sorry. He looked appropriately abashed for once. I'm surprised at his outburst, but at least it stems from good intentions, right? It's okay, I didn't think you would feel so strongly. I do not like the people thinking they are lower than anyone else. That's just stupid. But I should not have insulted you like that. I apologize. He looked down at his feet, then at the mess in front of him. You better hope that does not stain, or else you will be owing me much more than an apology too. The grin on Cam's face forced me to recoil, and I wasn't even the one in danger. Aries, how come you are never sorry for all the things you call me? Is it because Aina's a girl? Wow, Aries. Ouch. Valifa had gone over and smacked them each on their heads. You two, get something to clean with before Cam's table is destroyed. If you continue to tease him, I fear something worse may happen. He added this under his breath and shook his head as the two troublemakers marched away to do as told. I went back to Cam, glass in hand, in hopes of another drink. My umbrella lay sadly limp at the bottom. I wish for it to rise again. May I have a refill, Cam? Did you enjoy it? Yes, it was good. I'm very happy to hear so. Are you still feeling steady? Quite so. Then I'll oblige your request, miss. Smiled at my confidence and topped my drink up again. My little umbrella was floating once more. The desire for another drink was partly because I wanted to forget the memories that had suddenly resurfaced. I did feel a tingle through my body, but I wanted to relax and not think about my past more strongly. While I am pleased that you are enjoying my concoctions, Valafar will have my hide if you get too drunk. I'll protect you from him. I shall hold you to that. While he was concerned with my alcohol intake, I decided to study his drinking habits instead. I noticed that his sips were slower and more sparse. Kame, do you never become inebriated? That is a good question. I drink more heavily when I'm alone. And why is that? Because I'm afraid of what I would admit when my tongue is loosened. Do you also have things that pain you? Don't we all? This is very human-like of you. Kame paused for a short while and stirred his drink in contemplation. Is it really?
Human is to suffer, right?
Now that is quite a dark take. Is suffering simply not a part of life, no matter the kind of being?
Then what makes a Reaper different from a human?
The way you all approach things, human emotions are much different.
The pair returned with a few cleaning supplies and then time to join our discussion. But if you also ache, love, and desire, then where lies the difference between humans and yourselves? The extent? The things humans do for their desires is something unthinkable for us. There is nothing you would do anything for? They all went quiet after that. Have I just given some food for thought, or am I really good at killing conversations? Well, with that in mind, I believe it is time to call it a night. Look at you, Aina. You're unsteady on your feet. No, I'm not. I insisted, but my legs betrayed me once I tried to stand up for another refill. I'm pleased to see you have enjoyed yourself. Thayer beamed brightly, his cheeks happy flush. It is actually worth the work it takes to get alcohol all the way down here. You're the best, Thayer. Alright, before Thayer melts, how about we all head back? Aries was meticulously cleaning Kame's table still, under the man's eagle-eyed glare. After you polish the table, again. Are you done with the glasses, Safan? Yes, my liege. The men were flitting about and cleaning everything. It was amazing. I'd never seen such helpful guests before. Since Kame is kind enough to host us and make our drinks, we like to repay him by leaving the place as it was. Oh no, I haven't helped. It is your first time here, do not worry. He patted me on the arm with a smile. You can help me dry the dishes next time, Aina. You are my guest. These others are all intruders. I shall remember this the next time you need someone to finish your paperwork. Except Valafar. The other man rolled his eyes and tossed a rag at Kame. In the end, Valafar and Thayer helped me back to my apartment. After making sure I was tucked safely into bed, they took their leave. And so ended another day in my new life. Okay, we do things my way. It was the next morning and we were back at the office. Kame insisted Arias handle my training today. Despite trying to wiggle out of it, Arias had no choice but to take up the mantle of my teacher. I too argued against having such an unwilling instructor, but both of us lost to the bespectacled man. How unfair. Yes, sir. My head hurts. I thought Reapers were immune to this type of thing. What in the world did angels put in their liquor? Well, we'll spend a couple hours in training, then you can go have lunch with the others. After lunch, you'll go to hell. Excuse me? I thought you said I didn't have to go there. Is it because I went with those timeshare people? I won't do it again, I promise. He pinched the bridge of his nose and huffed angrily. Would you stop and listen? You aren't being sent to hell. But we deliver people to the gates, or, well, the reception area. Do we get to go to heaven too? I imagine it would be far prettier than hell. No, they don't like it when our kind hang around for long. He was sounding a little evasive. I couldn't help but think that he was hiding something. I suppose they don't like us hanging around hell either, but at least they're more direct about not liking us. In heaven, there's a persistent sentiment of holier than thou. It's annoying. I see, I suppose being in the afterlife doesn't change human behavior. Aren't angels supposed to be free of ill intent, though? That's what makes it worse. They genuinely believe they're better than us. I sighed. I've dealt with enough snobbery when I was alive. Sarah isn't like that, at least. That's why we let him hang around us. Enough talk. Let's get you your weapon and start teaching you how to use it. But before that, you walked over to the vending machine and got me one of those cold coffees. This will help. Valafar did warn you about drinking too much. I didn't drink too much. But still, I took the opportunity to let myself smile when he looked away. Whatever positivity I'd felt towards him earlier was quashed by anxiety. This room was so empty. Did he bring me here to kill me? I walked around in a circle, and the taps of my footsteps echoed. Aries had told me to wait here until he returned with my weapon, but it was boring. Where is he? I started to walk in circles, one foot in front of the other, just as he walked in. I wondered how training would go. Would I be fighting Aries? I gripped the hilt of an imaginary sword and swung my invisible weapon before me.
Ha-ha! Take that! And that! Not so cocky now, are you?
I see you've been keeping yourself busy.
I could not look him in the eye. I was just taking a look around the place. Yes. There's a wide expanse of nothing, that is. He narrowed his eyes with disbelief, but for once had the courtesy to not offer a rebuttal. Right, anyway, this is yours. This is a stick. Slash the air away from me, if you would be so kind. I looked at him skeptically, but who was I to refuse? Although I was tempted to wield my weapon towards him, I behaved and drew the stick through the air. And out came a chain scythe. Huh? I got a little too excited, and the blade almost circled back towards me. With a flex of Aria's fingers, the blade stilled and dropped downwards.
Perhaps do not maim yourself?
You gave me no warning. I did not think you would be thrashing it about like a wild animal. Pardon me for attempting to have a little faith in you. Why, you little... You told me to slash it. So I did, anyway. Best to put it into practical use. You said you were skilled in combat, correct? A little. Cool, this room can turn into any amount of environments. Let us see what we can work with. He walked over to some sort of panel, and I heard some beeps from where he was pressing into it. Faster than a blink, we were in what looked like a city, much like the one we'd been to earlier. Okay, your job is to strike down targets. They'll have a red aura to them. Their aura? I'll be able to see it? Yes, your full powers will take time to realize themselves, but sight is something that comes to you automatically. Sight? Wherever you are, you will be able to see supernatural beings. Those with red auras are wandering spirits. This is a test simulation, so it has been artificially reproduced. How strong the auras will actually be to you in the real world will depend on your own innate ability. Lovely. Couldn't help but eke out a dry reply, considering I had absolutely no idea how my innate ability could even be. What if there was nothing there at all? With that, the first target came into view. So I just swing like this. It was difficult to gauge my strength. When I was able to slice the apparition into two, the blade swung back towards my feet once more. Eek! Ria sighed and stayed my scythe once more. Do you want me to take it back from you? It's not my fault. Spoke through gritted teeth as I struck another target that swooped down on me. I haven't had the chance to practice. I believe that trial by combat is the best practice. I think you need to change your beliefs. I ducked down mid-sentence to whack at yet another apparition. If I wasn't so absolutely irritated at him, I would be terrified at the prospect of actually having to do this one day. Funny to hear it from you. Look, just copy me. He took out his own scythe, leapt into the air, and took out 3 apparitions at once. Show off.
I'm just teaching you. Learn faster, pupil.
Despite his tone, I knew what he was saying was true, and I tried to learn as fast as I could. Eventually, I started to get the hang of when to draw my blade back, how much force to expel, and how to wield it. I'm a pro. Of course, I was still a beginner, but Aries had to intervene a little less often. You're surviving, not the same thing. Your instincts are good, but you need better control of your weapon. I'm used to swords, not this chain thing. Can I have a sword? No. This is built with special properties, and we do not use swords. Damn. Does he not have like a Oops, that is not what I wanted to do. Wait. Is there a... Okay, we'll have to look if the game comes out. I will have to look how to usually you can get rid of the UI and stuff in these games. Most games I've played so far had that on the B button, but this game seems to have it on somewhere else, if it has it at all. So I will have to look for it, because I wanted to have a closer look at that sword on his hip when he was like, "Oh no, we don't use swords here. You, sir, seem to have a sword that you could use if you wanted to do so. Do not hurt the ones with a blue aura." That was too late. Congratulations, you just destroyed the soul of an innocent child. But I didn't mean it. You didn't warn me in advance. I was disheartened. This was not what a pro would do. Rias seemingly took pity on me and pressed a few buttons on the panel, which returned the room back to normal. You did well enough for today. I will let you off the hook for afternoon training just this once. I appreciate your benevolence. I should hope you can make it to at least 3rd place one day. You think I can take 1st? I would love to see you try. While I hoped to persuade Aries about my potential to defeat him during lunch, he took his leave the second he had seen me back to the office. Aina, how has training been going? I killed a child. Well, that happens. Has it happened to you? Probably. He turned away, shoulders shaking from obvious laughter. Go ahead, love. My apologies. He recovered rather elegantly and patted my shoulder with sympathy. If you aren't preoccupied, shall we have lunch together? Yes, please. Somewhere tasty, please. Kame chuckled, and I noted that his laughter was a lovely velvet rumble. I hope to not disappoint, madame. We went to the cafeteria downstairs, which to me was no different from an elegant restaurant. Kame ordered a couple of sandwiches for us, and we took our seats somewhere less busy. I had yet to get used to the stares everyone passing by gave me, but Came kindly blocked my view of others when he could. Is Suria's going too rough on you? I let out a long exhale and Came chuckled. No. He laughed harder. I mean it, although I wish he would give me more instructions. It's been like a trial by fire. I see, he's a fan of the tough love method. Tough love? Where was the love? We could have one of the others take over if you'd like. But that would mean surrendering. That's alright, I can keep up with him. I like to see that spirit. My limbs are still intact at least. I wasn't expecting this type of weapon. I was thinking I get a sword. Or something more pointy and less swingy. I made a jabbing gesture and poked my finger into his bottle of water. Ah yes, chain scythes are specially crafted for us. You must be careful with it, for it can hurt anyone, reapers included. Should we be handling something so dangerous? We're the only ones that can. Consider it an occupational hazard. Seeing as you are still in one piece, I think you'll do just fine. There was a beep from his pocket. He took out his device and glanced at me before reading the message on it. He was teasing me again, wasn't he? My sincere apologies. I asked you to lunch, but here I am having to leave early. I will see you later, Aina. Goodbye, Kaim. Oh, I was meaning to ask him about hell. My bites turned into smaller nibbles as my appetite waned. Kaim's sandwich remained to keep me company, sad and unfinished. Kaim had sent Safan downstairs to save me from the awkwardness of being alone in a full room of people who were talking about me. He had... Wait. He had seen me back off at the office, where Ria swiftly set us on our way to the next item on his schedule. You could ask how my lunch was. Why? I've had food. I've had the food there. Perhaps as a form of courtesy? Did you ask me how mine was? He had a point. How was your lunch? I didn't eat. Okay. Thankfully, Sarah passed by and brought that awkward conversation to an end. And where are you two going? Hell. Ah, good luck with that, especially you, Aina. Never been to hell before, which is a very good thing in your case. Are we going through that door again? That's right, look at you. You actually got a brain in there. Rude. So, here we just say our location again. We can't control the time we go to, so... Wait. Can you hold my hand? Although it wouldn't be my first time through this, my nerves still fluttered and at the thought of traveling across dimensions and time once again. Even worse was the fact that we would be going down below to hell. I was still afraid that he'd change his mind and leave me there. For the love of... Never mind. He snatched my hand up. If you're going to ask, then commit to it, alright? Ooh, the blush is super cute. He snapped at me, but he couldn't look me in the eye either. Are you blushing? Do you want to go to hell alone? No. Then be quiet and don't make fun of the man that's taking you there. He then faced the door, and as quickly as he could, hell. I squeezed his hand back tightly, letting it anchor me as we traveled to a realm that would be far less friendlier than all the others we saw together. Although the breeze on my face was warm, his hand was even warmer. No, please, I'll do anything, please. I can change, don't take me. From the distance, we saw a man getting scruffed by the collar and dragged into the lobby. What an introduction to hell. Don't tell me you were expecting sunshine and daisies. Well, no, but a few roses could liven up the place. I had an iron grip on Arias' hand, still, and my nails had dug in when I saw the man doomed to perpetual, well, doom. Alright, so we have to go over here. Usually this is where we process the fresh meat. Fresh meat. The figure that had gone into the lobby came into view, although bereft of one screaming soul. Came? You have to stop here. Did you have a stop here today? Yes, as it were. Why is she here? He gave Arias an accusatory stare and then looked at our joined hands. Arias let go as if he had been burned, and I quickly tucked my own hand behind my back. Well, she has to bring her souls here eventually, doesn't she? You mean this isn't part of training? Then why is Arias subjecting me to this? Well, typically not on the very first day. It's part of my training. She's right. This really is trial by fire, almost literally. What? He said almost. You're not going near any fire. We wouldn't let that happen to you. Unless... He cleared his throat and pushed up his glasses, and I swore I could see his lenses flash a warning. You two can head back without me. I have to talk with Bells about an influx coming in soon. A party?
Quite the merry one.
Do all Reapers have such dark humor? While they share the love, my stomach churned at the thought of more screaming souls like the last one, to be tossed away forever in agony. I suppose one becomes habituated over time. And I suppose they all deserve it, right? We were not planning on waiting for you, as it were. Arias' ill manner snapped me back to the conversation, and I spoke up in defense of Kame. I would have waited. Kame smiled at me appreciatively. But I am the boss today, so you get no say. What a tyrant. In that case, abhorrent matters aside, I will see you two after work? Yes, I get to decide my after work hours, right? Yes, because I'm not actually a tyrant. Doubtful. As Kame was about to make his exit, I realized there was something I was still dying to know. Before you go, Kame, I want to ask what happened to that man. Ah, he's fallen into the pit. The receptionist here will be sorting out his duration and punishment logistics in the meanwhile. Best you not worry too much. I really do hate to be abrupt, but there is some work I need to do. Good day, Aina. Hell is scary. It is indeed, isn't it? To see someone meet their fate right before my eyes was terrifying. And this is what my friend felt seeing me... Wait, and is this what my friend felt seeing me when I had been executed? I shuddered. Bit too much? Yeah. I think that is enough for today then. I don't have to learn to do hellish things. Throwing people into pits, doing paperwork. Can wait another day. I might get in trouble for overworking the new recruit. He rapped on my head in what I assumed would be the closest thing to an affectionate gesture I would receive from him. It did reassure me though. He was looking out for my well-being. It just happened to be in the most asshole way possible. I was used to being spoiled by Felix. We've all smiled in adoration. This just was a different way of friendship that I would have to get used to. Or so I assume. I might just be inventing this one-way friendship in my head. But that was nice, neither here nor there. Right now, I was in the midst of training, and had to learn the ropes as quickly as I could. So, when can we go to heaven? It might be best if we do not go for the time being. Why not? They do not like you very much, so you're not allowed there. And the truth comes out. Why? That's not fair. Is it not? You're right. It was entirely fair. I was just upset about it. All things considered, I'd be lucky if I even saw the gates of heaven from a distance someday. You aren't missing much. Come on, a round of undead games is better anyway. You know, you can be nice after all. He glared at me. Don't get too comfortable. I deflated after being rebuked. This stuck close to him all the same. The experience had worn me out more than I expected, and he was the only familiar face I had. On our way back, while I didn't need to hold his hand again, he held it out for me without a word. Looks like the others aren't ready yet. I suppose not. I brought my car today, since I figured this might happen. I can drive you home. I wondered how much of this Aries had accounted for, and what made him still decide to go through with it. I couldn't tell if he was considerate or not. He seemed the type to charge ahead and try to patch up the consequences later. It's hard to keep up with him. You can rest up before we hang at Kames. Shouldn't I get some work done? No. Let's get you home for now. Thank you. You know, you can be... Don't. There just was no use trying to be his friend. It was all one-sided after all. Never mind, you're just mean. Good, get it into your head. I can see why he did not drive often. He was like a monster behind the wheel. Wait a second, I have to really quickly show the MC here. This is also a great, you know, representation of what it is to be with a bad driver in the car. It was like they released a demon from hell in the form of Aries and unleashed him onto this realm. Whatever fears had been alleviated swiftly returned as I dug my fingers deep into the seat. I did not realize that driving could be so loud. It was like he was unleashing whatever frustrations he had onto the road. You are a very rough driver. Want to try doing it yourself? No thank you. As terrible as his driving was, I would rather take my chances with him. It is still better to learn. But I will not be your teacher. I should hope not. I think you would be yelling at me more than teaching me. I think I would actually cry. Because you would probably deserve it. A good teacher is patient. Oops, that was a slip. I never claimed to be a good teacher. I crossed my arms and decided that pursuing conversation with him was pointless. I was so irritated that I had forgotten. The scene in hell that I had witnessed. Was he riling me up on purpose to make me forget about it? This was the same man who had thrown me into a training simulation with a very pointy weapon and no instructions. He was just a very prickly man, wasn't he? I had been dropped off, as promised, and was now soaking in the tub. Sarah had shown me all the different types of bath products he had purchased for me, and I had fun combining the different scents, although they were starting to make me sleepy. Just as I was about to drown in my own bathtub, I heard a knock at the door, and at the same time as I heard my phone ping. You home? Coming. I scrambled to put on some clothes. I scampered to the door, as droplets were left behind in my mad dash to greet my guests. It probably would have been better for me to tie back my hair so that I didn't soak my shirt, but I couldn't find anything to do that with. Hello. The guys were all at my door, even Aries, although he was at the back, like usual. They blinked at me, probably taking in my haphazard appearance. Stefan was softly blushing. What was going through his head? What are you guys doing here? Oria said you couldn't stop crying, so we decided we would just spend time here with you. I was not crying, Orias. He looked back at me with a smug grin. I wanted nothing more than to smack his little smirk off of his face, but given that this was not the best place for it... Oh, was he winding us up? Wow. Looks like you do care after all. I smiled back towards Arias with a sweet smile. Maybe teasing him back could be my method of revenge. I stepped aside so all the boys could file in, and my home suddenly became a lot warmer. They're the idiots who dragged me here. Whatever makes you feel better, Arias. No one likes the tsundere, Arias. That would not be true. That is, I do think that is actually one of the more well-liked stereotypes in otome games. Just from, you know, what I heard being part of that kind of community. What the fuck is that? So uncultured. We have brought you hot cocoa. I shall prepare some for all of us to share this evening. We've got some groceries too. And we're going to teach you to use your appliances this week. You haven't tried it yourself yet, right? Kame walked into the kitchen, inspecting the surroundings as he tapped his chin. Well, nothing appears to be broken, so... I am offended that you think of me to be so reckless. I throw one watch and you paint me as a crazed, destructive woman. Unbelievable. Hey, I think that just makes you more fun to be around. The rest of these guys are boring stick-in-the-muds. I find that I'm very interesting. He looked around for affirmation and all eyes darted away. I gave him an encouraging nod out of pity and he brightened up. To be fair, the concept of an angel was genuinely interesting to me. These men were too used to this strange world. I'll put on a movie for us. Sayre, go get some blankets. Aina, you don't mind if we stay in, right? No, not at all. I appreciate the company, even Arias. I'm flattered. He was dry as ever, yet we all still laughed. It was the start to a very cozy evening, after a very long day. For the first time, or as far as I could recall, I felt lucky. Like I had finally found something that could be akin to family. Reapers are unattached. Kame had said that, but I could still dare to hope, right? This demo is going on way longer than I had expected. I read somewhere that it would be about an hour. Maybe that was a very fast reader or something? Also, just reading everything out aloud makes it go a bit slower and stuff. Even if I don't think that I'm reading super slow, even the aloud part. I'm not sure if I should be stopping here. Because we're almost at the 3-hour mark of the stream, so like 2.5 hours of the game. But I'm not sure how far the demo still goes. And I actually thought that we would have time to stream something else afterwards. But I don't think so. So... Give me like a second for a quick Google if I at least get to see how many chapters the demo has. Or it might also have been like the 1 hour time thing might have been like for an earlier demo or something. Yeah, it says that is the entire common route in this demo. So I think this is like a definitely newer demo than the one that I had read about. And as the page on itch.io said something about saving in chapter 4. I guess we will have to split this and maybe do another stream sometime. And then I am going to save and stop here for now. So we might. We may or may not do another stream of this. It depends on, because this is still like, the demo is still subject to change. So the actual main game might have like some differences in the common route. So I think I might not even, stream the other half of the demo. And maybe just, if I stream this game again at a later point in time, depending on if people enjoyed it, that I streamed it, I would then probably just stream the game instead of the demo. Yeah, I think that is the sensible choice here. My voice is also kind of on the verge of giving out. Sad that I couldn't play more Berseria, so I did derail my schedule here. But I did enjoy this game greatly. Let us go on to the other screen here. So my thoughts on the demo so far, as we've played now. I love all the boys. They're like great characters. Really funny dynamic between them. I especially enjoy Aries and Sayre. I would like to see more of Kim, but I do think that I will also greatly enjoy him. Then Valafar is, I also will just need to see more of him, I think. He is the... Let me... just... Okay, I'm gathering my thoughts, and I'm getting some like I'm looking at the itch.io page of them to jumpstart my thoughts and stuff. So yeah, Valafar, because he seems to be kind of more the maybe Kudere type so far, just from my first impression. But I will have to, get to know him better so that he can open up to me. I generally often like these types, but yeah, that's still like, you know, he's still a bit out for the count. For Safan, he seems to be the loud, hot-headed one of the bunch, which is probably the stereotype I enjoy the least in Otome games. I do not like Genki characters. Like a example for those types of characters that I usually don't really go for would be Mineo from Color X Malaise or Impy from Code Realize. And he seems like he might fall in the same thing, so that he's not going to be my favorite. They're still, you know, I like all of them so far, and like a general, these characters are going to add to the plot, but on the like scale of who could be my favorite, we're rather looking at the first three boys that I mentioned initially, that where the design spoke most to me, or also character-wise so far, actually the best chances. So this is where we're going to leave off here now. Like I said, I'm looking forward to the full game. I've had this game on my wishlist since like 2024. It, like, everything looks really good. The voice acting is really good. They're all doing a great job. I hope that more of the lines are voice acted in the actual game. It would be kind of sad if you know, if there's, I'm spoiled by the commercial otome, the Japanese commercial otome, where the MC is usually not like there's very little games that the MC is voiced, but all of the lines of all of the guys are often voiced. That's at least the like physical bigger releases. I know this is an indie game, so the standards don't quite apply, but just from the like quality I've seen so far, I would just hope that they would do the same. Especially because they also voiced some side character voice lines. And it also, so if not all of the lines are voiced, for my own pacing, I might skip over a line because I just didn't expect the next line to be voiced. And I'm reading faster and stuff on my own, and then I might skip stuff that I don't want to skip, actually. So yeah, I hope that there's going to be more consistency for me to see which of the lines are going to be voiced. The developer tries, like, they tried actually to have this game released into early access on Friday. Have as far as they shared on Twitter some problems with Steam and not getting a reply, more or less, getting ghosted. And so I can't say when the actual early access release is going to be. But after that, they said that they are set to release one route each, like each month. That's like their roadmap. And then the other extra guys that are not our 5 boys that we've met so far are going to be free DLC. Or at least some of them are free DLC. Maybe some are going to be paid DLC. But even so, you know, five love interests is already a good amount. And I'm looking very forward to the full game. The quality I've seen so far is really good. The characters really good so far. Really fun. It's, you know, getting someone to laugh out, like actually audibly laugh instead of just smile and maybe, like, you know, the meme of lol being basically like a slight smile with maybe a bit of a more audible breathing out instead of a full-on laugh. So yeah, that's already good job on that. So I hope that the dev gets their troubles with Steam resolved ASAP. And I hope people, you know, give the game lots of love. And enjoy it as much as I do. I will also, so if the game releases, and I may stream it more because the devs expressly allowed it. I just wouldn't want to stream a visual novel where it isn't allowed, where I would take away from what the devs want. And I know that with visual novels, there's, like, with video games in general, there's always the piracy debate. But with Medium work, you can basically just upload it on YouTube, and the viewer has seen everything in the game. It's it feels bad to me. I don't want to take away from them. I want other people to buy the games so that more get made. And I want to, you know, keep my little niche hobby alive. And that is only possible if people give them money, because that is what makes the world go. So I yeah, I just hope that people will give these guys a lot of money so that they can keep on making games that are this pretty. Now, sorry for the dog. For today, I'm going to head off because we've already, like, my voice is about to be away. It at least feels like it. So, I will have to stop here, even if I would have loved to play more Berseria. We will play more Berseria next week, though, for sure. And, probably, see you guys on Tuesday. Thank you for watching. I hope you have a nice evening. And yeah, see you next time.